Turn out the lights. The party's over. What a bunch of stiffs. Screw the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. I now decide I can't stand these guys. Bunch of thieves in the night. Lost to the Nationals? The bleeping the old Expos? You lost to them? It was death by former Dodger Howie Kendrick hitting a tie-breaking grand slam. But I will argue, that came in the 10th inning. And the Nationals are on to the National League Championship Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Boy, who's not excited about that? Man, there'll be 7 people watching that NLCS. But anyway, listen, Howie Kendrick had the big hit, but really the game was lost by Clayton Kershaw. This guy is a stiff, all right? And I don't know how many times he has to go out there and do this before finally somebody with the Dodgers says enough is enough. The Dodgers had a 3-1 lead. Walker Buehler pitched his guts out on the mound, pitched a great game, was marvelous. And Kershaw came in, got 1 out, and then he came back after the 7th inning. You saw the game, you know this. And then Anthony Rendon hit a bomb. And then Juan Soto, halfway up the pavilion to the moon. He hit the ball to the moon. The Dodgers lost in part because of a guy that can't even buy a beer. Juan Soto is not even old enough to buy a damn beer. And he hit a home run to kill him. I mean, Kershaw, retire. You can't even, keep the ball in the ballpark. Twice. Hall of Famer my ass. All right. Anyway, now, I guess we're supposed to frame this like a regular Maller monologue and all this stuff. And listen, I'll be very calm here. The Dodgers have to wear the dunce cap. Dave Roberts should be called in to the principal's office. And in Hollywood fashion, Kershaw going in there and I'll puke over here, I'll puke over there, a little puke for you, a little puke for you. Well, I've often said for 20 years I've been doing this nonsense that the better stories in the losing locker room. Ta-da! Oh, man, oh, man. Well, all right, let's discuss. So the question, what do the Dodgers do now? I know the body is not even cold yet, but what do the Dodgers do now with this latest biblical meltdown from Clayton Kershaw? And shout out Joe Kelly. Why couldn't he pitch like that with the Red Sox? This guy was good in the playoffs of the Red Sox. Somewhere, there's a bunch of people in Boston right now listening that have this evil laugh. They got that evil laugh going. But why don't we focus in here? We'll do with the Kershaw thing. We got a lot to dissect here, but we've got Yellowstone, Bag of Dirt, and Voodoo. And we will put all of these things together and make some baba ganoush. Because we haven't made baba ganoush in a while, so we're going to make some baba ganoush, and we'll have some fun. I don't even know what baba ganoush is, but I know it's a fun word to say. So, I am going to be very level-headed. I think I've already displayed that here for you. I am going to be a reasonable sports talk show host. I'm going to be very professional, calm. I'm not going to be irrational here at all, but I am convinced that Clayton Kershaw is actually the devil. He is the devil in disguise. The devil is real, and he's wearing a Dodger uniform with Kershaw on the back. That is one of my theories on this. That is one of my theories on this guy continuing to harass me in my middle-aged period of my life, Clayton Kershaw. I mean, my God. Kershaw has not only been a pitcher, the guy's a fraud. All right, let's call it what it is. The guy's the LAPD. I walked out of Dodgers. I was at the game, and I saw a bunch of LAPD cars all lit up. One of those police cruisers, the paddy wagon, ought to go arrest Kershaw for extortion and put him up on some charges. Kershaw has constantly served up warm, hot poop sandwiches in big moments for how many years? How many years? My entire life. I am convinced. I know he's got a mansion in L.A. and a place in Texas and all that, but I think Kershaw actually lives in Yellowstone National Park. Now, why does Kershaw live? No, I'll tell you. Because he is as reliable and dependable as Old Faithful. All right? You know that geyser? Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, you put him in there, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. Now, people I was sitting with in the media area there, they were all groaning in the press box when Kershaw entered the game. But there was in the stadium, the entire stadium, there was murmuring. Like, what are they doing? Why are they bringing Kershaw in for? Why would you do that? Right? You don't have to be a distant relative of the great Nostradamus to see what was going to happen from a mile away. Not even a mile. All right? 100,000 miles away. You could have seen what was going to happen here. And sure enough, on cue, it happened. Voila! There it is. All right. Now, I'm also thinking here, and I had this epiphany when I was driving in, that Clayton Kershaw is actually the Dodgers Manchurian candidate, right? Like he is someone the San Francisco Giants or some other team put inside the Dodger clubhouse to take the team down from within. Because he rubs off on these other guys that are good with other. Like Joe Kelly was good for the Red Sox in a World Series against the Dodgers. All of a sudden, he's teammates with Kershaw. That's Joe Kelly. All right? And everyone, I'm so tired, completely worthless. All right? Everyone keeps waiting for this radical transformation. All right? Spoiler alert. This guy is diarrhea. He ain't going to change. All right? Bill Parcells taught me this when I was a kid. I say it all the time. You are what your record says you are. And even by Kershaw standards, now I realize this wasn't the World Series, and I believe it was Game 5 in Houston will still be the worst of the worst. But by Kershaw standards, this was in that same category. This was the magnum opus of suck for Clayton Kershaw in that relief outing there. 1/3 of an inning, bam, bam, home run, you're out of here. And again, those home runs would have been out of the bleeping Grand Canyon. If they had played that game in the bottom of the Grand Canyon, they would have hit it out. The Juan Soto home run in particular, that was halfway to heaven up the pavilion there at Dodger Stadium. Now, part B of this, as we talk here on Fox Sports Radio, Clayton Kershaw must be traded. It is not even up for debate. He needs to be put into quarantine. All right, this guy is an enemy combatant of the Dodgers. And forget the Astros, the Red Sox, or the Nationals. It is Clayton Kershaw who has directly been responsible for all of these heartbreak losses in the playoffs. Anyone disagree with that? Does anyone disagree? I don't care about the Hall of Fame pedigree. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not interested in his legacy of a regular season dominance. Enough is enough. My advice to the Dodgers, set him free. All right? And I know Kershaw's got a couple years left on his contract. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Sayonara! Arrivederci! All right, so listen. These dingleberries that are running the Dodgers here, I'll get to them later. They tacked on 2 years against my advice, against my counsel. They gave Kershaw 2 extra years. You know what I do? You know, I call the Texas Rangers up. I say, let's make a deal, okay? Let's make a deal. You got a new ballpark. You got a dome stadium you're opening up in 2020. Let's send Clayton Kershaw. I'll even throw in $30 million to take the guy. All right, $30 million I'll throw in because I'm very nice. I'm generous. All right, it's not my money anyway. So I'll throw in $30 million. I send Kershaw to Arlington, Texas. He's from the Dallas area, down the road a little bit. And here's what I want in return. All right, I'm the Dodgers. All I want from the Rangers is a bag of dirt. That's it. Just send me a bag of dirt. Why? Because that is the value of Clayton Kershaw. He's the kind of thing, when you need him the most, he ain't there. It is astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. Now, the last thing here, lost in all of this brilliance was Walker Buehler. The guy was a total stud. All right? This guy is great. He's the only one I would keep. I'd get rid of everyone else. Him and Max Muncy and maybe Turner. But everyone else I would get rid of. And it turns out, shockingly, you can't do it alone. Well, you could have done it alone if he hadn't thrown 117 pitches. If he had been able to go all the way, that would have been even better. But despite a premier start, a 3-0 lead, right? 3-0 lead, home field advantage, every conceivable edge you could possibly want. And still, they urinated down their leg at the end of the game. Kershaw and Clayton Kelly, we'll call him, or Joe Kershaw, the son that Clayton Kershaw, I guess he's a little old to be Kershaw's son, but man, also useless. And now, you know who I actually blame for this? Well, certainly Kershaw and Kelly are right up there. I actually blame my wife, all right? And I'm going to tell you why, okay? I love my wife. She's wonderful and great, and I'm very happy, and been married a long time. Well, for me, a long time. I never thought I would get married, so just being married at all is kind of cool. But anyway, I am convinced that my wife, over the last day or so, bought a voodoo doll on Amazon. All right? Now, let me explain why. All right? Because she had made plans a couple weeks ago for this weekend. Gala parties, all right? Both Friday and Saturday, days the Dodgers were supposed to be playing in the National League Championship Series. So I, of course, informed my wife, it's part of the gig. Can't go to the parties. I got to go hang out at the Dodger games because I cannot go. And I told my wife this. I explained everything to her. She was okay. And I said, well, if the Dodgers lose, I'll be able to go and all that. And so now I have no alibi. I have no get-out-of-party card to play because of these bums with the Dodgers. And me, an introvert, I have to now be a social butterfly at multiple parties. I believe there's 3 parties that I now have to attend because the Dodgers, Kershaw and Kelly, the KK team, can't get it done. All right? My God, I even have to wear a Halloween costume this weekend. We got invited to a Halloween party. I wouldn't have had to have done that if these idiots with the Dodgers would have ended the game and won, but of course they not. Let's hear from soon-to-be former Dodger manager Dave Roberts. He is on the outskis here. Here is Roberts. You must be very pleased. You've seen this before from your Dodgers in the playoffs, right?
Obviously, very, very, disappointing is probably an understatement. But I think it's just one of those things that, we got beat, and just disappointed for everyone.
Yeah. Please. Shut up, okay?
I liked him in that spot. I really did.
Yeah. Kershaw. What do you think of Kershaw in that spot? What do you think of Kershaw? Yeah, I liked him in that spot. All right. Here is Roberts. You hear the question, the answer, and the obvious Komodo dragon in the room, Clayton Kershaw in the regular season versus Clayton Kershaw in the postseason.
When is analytics going to come into play and, show that Kershaw hasn't been, successful in the postseason?
That's a tough question for me to answer.
It's a loaded question. Yeah, it's a loaded question.
What a great question there.
It's a good question. So he's afraid. Everyone's afraid of Kershaw. Maybe if somebody said, hey, Kershaw, you suck, and one of the people that actually work, we say it all the time here. And we say it all the time. But how about somebody that actually works for the damn team? Sweet baby Jesus. Do something. Do an intervention. Oh, we can't criticize Kershaw. Oh, my God. All right, here's more on the Dodgers' loss to the Nationals. Dave Roberts commenting on his decision to stick with Joe Gas Can Kelly.
Just could you take us through your thought process in the 10th, bringing back Kelly for a second inning, intentionally walking Soto rather than Kolarek, and letting Kelly face Kendrick? Yeah,
obviously, Kelly, you're looking at obviously a tie ball game, and Kelly goes in there, throws 10 pitches, and he's throwing the baseball really well. He's arguably our most rested reliever in the way he was throwing the baseball. I felt it was pretty easy, but I just felt that Joe had a good chance to put Howie on the ground and potentially then get Kenley on Zimmerman. And so my thought was to try to get a ground ball right there. I liked him in that spot. I really did.
Oh, my God. I need some antacid or something. This is...
I liked him in that spot. I really did.
No, you're torturing me, Roberto, with that. I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear that. I know that's a crutch that Dave Roberts says because he should have all of these things down. I mean, he does it every year. They have to give the same concession speech. Speaking of concession speeches, Clayton Kershaw. Is anyone in professional sports in the last 50 years more of a choke artist than this guy? I don't believe there is, but here is Kershaw explaining, what happened.
I had one job to do, just get 3 outs, and got 1 out, and didn't get the other 2, and they went over the fence. Cost us the game right there. So it's a terrible feeling. There's no excuses. Just didn't make pitches, and guy hit it over the fence twice. So
that was, the word is hideous. All right, that was repulsive. Okay, you want to go on? I got other adjectives I can go on with. Mortifying, but I would say mortifying. But I mean, he did blow a 4 or 5 run lead in the 2 4-run leads, I believe it was in the
2 4-run leads in the World Series,
2017 World Series.